Bulldog Blitz. I'm Whitney Simmons. Another successful season for Butler's men's basketball team is over, and now attention is shifting to what is next for the team, a new conference. Again. 4 seniors graduating, a strong freshman class joining the team in the fall, and a trip to Australia this summer. Plenty to talk about, and today we are talking to assistant coach Michael Lewis about what is to come for the Bulldogs. Thanks for being here today, Michael.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
All right, so after coming off such a close game with Marquette and making it to the NCAA tournament, what's one thing that you guys are looking to change for next season to come up?
I don't think we're looking to change anything. I think we just want to continue to develop the players in our program. We're happy with the young men that we've been able to recruit in this past season that will be joining us as freshmen next year. And we just, overall, as our program continues to grow and the move to the Big East, we just need to continue to grow our program and match the competitiveness in that conference.
In what ways are you looking to grow into the next conference?
Well, I think it starts with the guys that are currently in our program and the development of those players in the off season. You know, they've already started weightlifting segments. We will start individual workouts next week, and that'll carry out throughout the summer before we head to Australia with the incoming freshmen and kind of get a head start on next year.
And so with Australia, are you guys, how long are you staying there for? A week?
I think it's a 10-day trip.
And what are you doing while you're down there?
We'll travel over there and obviously we'll see Australia. But we're going to be in the Barrier Reef and in Sydney, a hometown of Jackson Aldridge, one of the guys on our team, so we got a built-in tour guide. But we'll also be playing 4 or 5 games while we're over there, and it'll give us a great opportunity to kind of get a head start on the season, kind of see where we are with the incoming freshmen and our returning players.
And with having Jackson Aldridge as kind of your tour guide, is there something special he has planned for you guys while you head over there?
If you know Jackson, I'm sure he's got something special for us, but he hasn't let that out yet. So but it'll be a great trip for us, both for a cultural experience and also from a basketball standpoint to see where we are.
And now moving to the Big East, it's a big change from the Atlantic 10 and then the Horizon previous from that. How are you guys are you preparing any different for the season to come, or?
No, I don't think so. You know, I think the thing that has helped make Butler be successful is just the constant attention to details in our preparation. Coach Stevens does an absolutely great job in preparing our guys for each game, and we don't look at it from the standpoint, oh, we're in the Big East now. You know, we look at the standpoint of, what game is next on our schedule, what can we do to prepare to be able to win that game, and you just got to do it 30 times, and our guys have pretty much bought into that mindset, and right now they're kind of focused more on an individual development at this stage, being in the spring, and trying to improve their games, and then we'll get more team oriented next fall.
And with the spring, and you mentioned that you're doing weight training, is there anything else that you're doing with the team to help prepare? Yeah,
they'll go through individual skill development workouts. The NCAA allows us to do 2 hours a week with each individual, and we'll break that into the 3 40-minute workouts where it'll just be a player and a coach working on his individual skills and things that we feel like they need to improve. So it's a great time for some interaction between the coaches and the players, one-on-one time that you don't necessarily maybe get throughout the course of the season, where it's just, strictly concentrated on their improvement.
And so now, looking at the Big East, do you feel there's one team that might be a struggle for the next season?
You know what? With all the realignment, I'm not even sure who's still in the Big East. No, we're just excited to be a part of it. I think it's a great opportunity for our program. It's a great opportunity for this university because you're going to be aligned with outstanding universities in the Big East that also have a very common theme amongst all of them, both athletically and academically, and it's just an exciting time to be a part of Butler.
And so with this, are you recruiting any differently for next season or seasons to come with having the Big East as a big draw in for it?
Well, we think the Big East, just as the Atlantic 10 kind of helped give us a broader scope in recruiting, we think the Big East will continue to do that. I think it has opened up doors for us from a national standpoint. But also going to back-to-back Final Fours kind of brings a national awareness to your program. So how much the Big East plays into it, we hope it can kind of put us over the top on a few guys, but that's yet to be seen. But we are excited about it.
And so now losing some of like Whitney Clark and Andrew Smith and Chase Tergal, is there some players that you're looking forward to step up next season to kind of take the leadership role? Or
I think when you look at the guys that are returning, you hope that leadership can come from within. You don't want to put a leadership burden on a freshman that has never played a college basketball game. So I think you saw as the season continued to progress, you saw some development from several players on our team. Roosevelt Jones, can take on a leadership role. Cameron Woods, Kyle Marshall, all those guys that we have in our program have the ability to be great leaders. And some of that kind of plays out through the course of the season. Some guys are more vocal than others. But I think the leadership from our younger guys was pretty strong this year, and we're looking forward to it continuing.
And so with the Big East being a little more spread out than the Atlantic 10, how is traveling going to be different for the teams? Is they going to have to take another day off from classes? Or?
No, actually the contrary to what a lot of people think, we missed less class being in the Atlantic 10 than we did when we were in the Horizon League because of how the schedules were laid out. And we've been very fortunate for various reasons that our travel has been enhanced, that we don't miss a lot of class. So if we were to play a game on a Thursday evening, our guys are in class all day Wednesday. We fly there Wednesday evening. We do miss class on game day, and then we return home immediately after the game. And so our guys miss as little class as absolutely possible. And this year we missed less class than we had in previous years.
And do you feel that helps the students missing?
No question. I mean, the more times they can be in the classroom, the better. But the university's been very helpful, and when our guys do miss class, making up work, we'll Skype guys into class from the hotel and things. So they do it the right way, and we're fortunate that we have the right type of student athletes as well.
And so now I noticed that with the Big East and all the realignments that they have, they were still able to keep Madison Square Garden as where the basketball tournament will be. Are you looking forward to competing in there?
I think it's great. I think that's one of the big things that the Big East, that those core schools wanted. They wanted to be able to keep the Big East name for its branding and its naming rights and everything, the notoriety that comes with the Big East name. And then obviously to be able to host your tournament in Madison Square Garden is huge. If you're a basketball player, you want to play in Madison Square Garden, and our guys are going to get that opportunity. And I've heard them talking about it a little bit. They're pretty excited. Playing in Brooklyn this year was neat, but to get to Brooklyn, we had to drive through Manhattan and saw Madison Square Garden. Our guys were excited.
And so, like you said, they were a little excited. Is there one thing that they most want about being in Madison Square Garden? Is just the feel of being on the court? Is it the excitement of it?
Well, I think when you walk into Madison Square Garden, you're overwhelmed by the history of the building, and you've seen all the movies, the games, the pictures that are along the walls when you're walking your locker room of all the not only great athletes and not just basketball, but also the great entertainers and performers that have been a part of Madison Square Garden history. And to think that you get to walk out and be a small part of that's pretty special.
That is all we have time for. Thanks to assistant coach Michael Lewis for being my guest. Now that we've heard from the coaching staff, let's talk to a player on the next segment of the Bulldog Blitz with Trish Barton.
Welcome back to segment 2 of the Bulldog Blitz. I'm Trish Barton. Junior forward Kyle Marshall is my guest today. Kyle was a starter this past season and will be a key figure on the team as a senior next season. First off, congratulations on the wonderful season. In your previous season, Butler Bulldogs ranked number 6 in the Big East for the NCAA tournament. 4 seniors are graduating, and Whitney Clark and Andrew Smith remaining looked at as the captains on the team. Are you planning to step in that role next year?
Well, first, thank you. Definitely next year. It's always a tradition that it's always in the seniors' job to be known as one of the leaders on the team. Of course, I'm going to try to live up to that expectations. But we also definitely have guys that are younger than I am, that'll be upcoming juniors as well, that has a lot of college experience. So look for them to also be leaders in this team as well.
Okay. And then who could you see stepping up as the juniors are?
I mean, I think a lot of our guys are going to step up, but I definitely see a lot of great things next year. Definitely coming from Roosevelt Jones and Cameron Woods.
Yeah.
With the point guard position being open, I'm really hoping pushing for Jackson Aldridge to be one of the guys that could step up for his junior season. But definitely a lot of guys coming in next year I think are definitely going to step up next year.
Okay. And then also, do you need any improvement, or is there any improvement that needs to be on the court or off the court?
I mean, there's always improvement that a team needs to go through, no matter what the circumstance may be. You know, as of right now, with us just now getting off, it's hard to tell what we need to work on as far as next year, because we have 4 guys leaving, and then we don't have our full team yet with our freshmen still in high school. So as of right now, it's kind of hard to tell, but you know, once practices goes on, workouts, it'll be a lot easier to see.
Yeah. And then how different is the team going to be without the traditional center like Andrew Smith?
It's definitely going to be a lot different, and that's how it is every year with seniors leaving. But as of next year, look for us for definitely to be just probably more of a versatile team. Mm-hmm. You know, probably with smaller lineups, but we definitely have guys that can guard multiple positions. You know, to be honest, I don't see much of a difference rather than that.
Yeah. Do you think anyone really stepped up this year?
I think everyone did, definitely in their own way.
Yeah.
Like towards the end, Cameron made a really good late push towards the end of the season. Roosevelt Jones, of course, is our all-conference defensive player. Yeah. And then you have Andrew Smith and Ronnie Clark, our two primary scorers, mm-hmm. Who's been our key guys throughout the whole year. But definitely has been a wide range of guys stepping up this year.
Yeah. Okay. And then for next season, 3 have signed and 1 has committed. And what do you foresee anything with the new additions, or is there anything that's going to change, or not much?
Well, of course, when they come in, we definitely want them to play to the best of their ability. You know, it's going to be a whole new environment for them coming out of high school, just like it is with every freshman coming into a college program. But you know, as our jobs as upperclassmen is just to help them, get them through the swing of things, get them through through practices and knowing like our philosophies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely looking forward to these freshmen coming in and playing immediately.
Yeah. And then how does Brad Stephen conduct the practice? Will they be able to, you know, just easily transition, or do you think it'll be hard for them? Or?
We definitely make it to where it's as easy as possible for the freshmen to get in the transition. Depending on how many freshmen we usually have coming in the next year, the pace is usually at a different pace. Last year we had only 2 freshmen and a lot of returnees, so pace started to go a little bit quicker. But with quite a few guys coming in next year, I'm not sure the exact number, but with quite a few guys coming in, you know, I'm expected to be a lot more going through the basics just to get them to follow along.
Yeah. Okay. And when do you guys start up again? In a few weeks, or?
We started Monday, actually.
Oh wow.
We started with weightlifting this week. Next week we're going to be doing individual workouts, full team workouts throughout the month of April, and then we'll have our time home for a little bit, and then we're back at it for one session doing pretty much the same things.
Okay. And then when do the new recruits or new players start to transition in?
The new players will come in June for the summer 2 session. They'll be taking their first college classes, doing college workouts, and they're actually kind of lucky because with us going to Australia, we're going to have 10 days to do an official practice. So they already know what an official practice is going to be before the school year even starts. So I think they'll be pretty much ahead of the game than previous freshmen with these 10 practices over the summer.
Yeah, and then trying to be a leader for next season, how do you think you and anyone else are going to try and help them transition in?
You know, just talking through them, just taking a freshman, giving our guys the time to off the court or out of practice, just talk to them. I'm like asking them if there are things that they have trouble with. I remember this previous year, one of our freshmen was not really getting not getting too many things. So, you know, as an upperclassman, it's usually their job to like take them in the gym like after practices, do some one-on-one stuff with them just to get them moving at a quicker pace.
Okay. And have you done that personally, or do you think you will probably do that personally?
I have done that personally
Okay.
this year, and my freshman year I had Ronald Norwood doing that to me. So it's definitely more of just how our guys are with trying to get guys to play their full potential and just to get them on the right page and on the same page as us really quickly. I think a bunch of guys just immediately do that without coach's consent or anything. I think it's just within us.
Yeah. And then what do you think Butler basketball faces moving to the Big East from the Atlantic 10?
Definitely a lot with you know, the history of the Big East. Definitely known as one of the more prestigious conferences in the country.
Definitely.
You know, we're very excited. You know, it's kind of weird when you play in one conference and then the next year you move into another. So it's just another transition for us, but definitely changes the personnel. You know, the guys probably going to be more athletic. A lot more potential pros going to be on the floor with the Big East, and our guys are just really excited.
Okay. And then do you think Stevens will step the pace up in practice or try and get the team closer together, or in any way try and
I
get
don't
ready?
think so. You know, just because we're playing in a different conference doesn't change who we are and our identity.
Yeah.
We still play Butler basketball no matter where we're playing, no matter what the venue, what conference or opponent. So I don't expect really any changes. Mainly the only change that I'll probably see is possibly recruitment.
Yeah.
Definitely high school guys are going to start looking at us more playing in the Big East. And if we do make a big runs in the Big East, a lot of guys are going to start looking towards us. So I think that'll be the only change as far as in our aspect. But as far as playing, you know, I don't expect us to change our identity for anything really.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you think about Butler's decision to join the Big East besides just playing and the difference between the Atlantic 10?
I definitely think it's another improvement. Of course, not trying to say that Atlantic 10 was a bad conference. It was definitely a very competitive conference, and it was a lot of fun to play in there. But you know, as far as playing in the Big East, you know, I think it'll definitely draw more fans like it did this previous year as we transitioned from the Horizon to Atlantic 10. You can see a greater attendance in fans coming in, and I think with us going to the Big East, I think that's only gonna make our fan attendance just increase.
Yeah. And then how do you feel mentally about next season?
I'm excited. You know, it's my senior year, my last year, so there's no reason for me to leave it all out on the floor for one more year. Definitely expecting big things out of our team, especially going to this new conference. But definitely, I'm really excited, and I'm already ready to go.
Yeah. And then is there anything that really inspires you to keep playing, or is it just the passion?
Just my passion for the game. I love the game. After my college career is all said and done, I'm definitely looking to play after, no matter what level it may be. But you know, I've been around this game for quite a long time. Probably not as long as others starting in the 8th grade, but I think that's a long time for me. But you know, it's just a game that I caught on to really quick and enjoyed very quick. And you know, I've grown to love this game, and I'm hoping to play this game as a career professionally.
Awesome, yeah. And then moving to the Big East, are you hoping when you play Marquette again, what are you feeling about that?
You know, Marquette, you know, with these two endings the way it did, I definitely think I can definitely sense a rivalry between us and Marquette, two very similar teams, both games ending on one possession.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is two teams that definitely have a lot of similarities. You know, both teams are going to come out. It's going to be a dogfight. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Marquette and Butler will become one of the more premier rivalries in the country.
Yeah. And then are you guys hoping also for next year NCAA tournament? Are you guys looking?
You know, every year you're always looking to get into the NCAA tournament. You know, Coach Stevens always tells us as a team, you know, we're not a team that's satisfied with regular season accomplishments. You know, we're always striving to get into the NCAA tournament. Not only get into it, we're looking to get deep into the tournament. You know, this year we definitely had an opportunity to get deeper, but a few things didn't go our way. But as far as getting into the tournament, you know, we're not just looking to get in, we're looking to go far.
Yeah. Well, thank you definitely for coming in today. Coming up next on the Bulldog Blitz, baseball and softball will lead off the third segment with your hosts Ryan Henson, Jojo, Gentry.
I'm Ryan Henson, and on this week's Bulldog Blitz, we've got stories about hitting and pitching stars for the Butler softball team.
I'm Jojo Gentry, and we've also got a story about what's next for Butler's 6'11 center, Andrew Smith. Graduation is a month away for the senior, and Smith is exploring his options on and off the court.
But first, Butler baseball. This team has a winning record at this point in the season and is coming off a big win at Purdue. The Bulldogs have won 6 of their last 8 games. The Butler softball team has had some excitement this season too. Matt Rhinesmith was at the team's home opener against St. Bonaventure and filed this report.
The Bulldogs played their first home games of the season at the Butler softball field against St. Bonaventure on Friday. They won both games of the doubleheader, the first one by a score of 2-1 and the second game 6-3. Senior Devin Deering was the hero in Game 1, hitting a walk-off 2-run home run to give the Dogs the win. Sophomore Kristen Boros brought the big bat in the second game, hitting a grand slam to lead Butler to victory. She talked about her performance after the game.
It was just a normal at-bat for me. I wasn't really stressing it, just wanted to get around across. And it was just a meatball down the middle, and I hit it.
Coach Scott Hall is proud of the sophomore's efforts early in the season.
She's been hitting really well coming out of Florida. She really caught fire and just brought it back north with her, so we hope she can continue to do that.
Boros was not the only star of the day. Senior Jenny Esparza pitched the first game and held the Bonnies to 1 run over 7 innings. Coming off injury, Esparza has had to put in a lot of work to be ready for the season.
I had to do a lot of physical therapy and just really strengthening my arms, my whole body, just because I've been off for so long.
Like other Butler sports, this season is the team's first and last in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Hall said the team is looking forward to Conference foe Dayton on Thursday.
They're well coached, they play well, they execute, so we've got to play well.
The Bulldogs will travel up Interstate 70 Thursday for 2 games against the Flyers. Butler hosts Morehead State on April 10th. For the Bulldog Blitz, I'm Matt Rhinesmith.
One of the bright spots for the Butler softball team this season has been the pitching staff. Marissa Johnson looks at the dynamic progression of the 4 pitchers this year.
Butler softball is a team sport, but at the center of all the action is the pitcher. There are 4 on this year's squad, and each has had a hand in the success of the team. Pitching coach Megan Slack says the 2 freshmen have been a pleasant surprise, but credits the leadership of her more experienced players.
Freshmen are doing great. They've definitely jumped in a lot more than what we expected them to be able to do. Just being the adjustment from high school to college is completely different. But they've stepped up. Their game stepped up, and they definitely have 2 great upperclassmen, Leah and Jenny, to be able to follow, and they've taken both Taylor and Kristen under their wing. So it's been really nice to see.
Freshman Taylor Lockwood says having junior Leah Bry and senior Jenny Esparza are some of the biggest reasons for her success thus far.
It's really nice having Jenny and Leah. They are really helpful. You can always turn to them and ask them what you need to improve on, and they'll be up front with you.
Esparza has returned for the mound for the Bulldogs this season after pitching only 12 games due to injury last year. She's started in 9 games so far this season, but for a competitive person like Esparza, it's never quite enough.
I'm really competitive, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I think I'm all right. I'm not doing I'd like to obviously to do better, be able to throw more innings, but so far I'm getting into things, so we'll see.
Esparza says she is happy to have the other 3 pitchers with her to take off the pressure, and she likes being able to see them succeed.
It takes a lot of stress off each pitcher because one doesn't feel the pressure to have to perform. So I'm really proud of everyone, and we've been really working really hard.
Butler's already over halfway through its season, and one thing is clear. Pitching is going to be one of the keys to success for the Bulldogs. For the Bulldog Blitz, I'm Marissa Johnson.
Senior Andrew Smith is done playing basketball for Butler, But his career outside Butler is just getting started. Colin Likas has more on Smith's future prospects.
At 6 feet 11 inches tall, he was hard to miss on Butler's basketball court. But teammates, coaches, and Butler fans will certainly miss Andrew Smith now, as the senior center is preparing for graduation.
It's been great. All of our coaches have been wonderful, and my teammates are some of my best friends, so I wouldn't trade anything of it for the world.
Smith's career after Butler is not set in stone. He majors in finance and interns with the Butler Business Accelerator. If professional basketball is not an option, Smith says he knows what job he would like to pursue.
My first internship was in private equity. I worked at a venture fund last summer, and I really enjoyed that. So that would probably be the route I would take.
Accounting instructor Pamela Rouse says Smith displayed a discipline in the classroom that will help him in any career, recalling one specific example.
He played at Wright State, got back at 3 in the morning, took the exam, and scored one of the top scorers in the class for the exam.
College of Business professor Craig Caldwell warns of a potential consequence if Smith should work in an office space.
I learned that he likes to take his shoes off in class. Typically within about the first 5 minutes the shoes are off.
But Smith's desire is still basketball, no matter where it takes him.
Most likely be overseas, and that's just a broad range of countries. You can end up anywhere from France to Australia, so you don't really know, but that's definitely what I want to do here in the near future.
Assistant basketball coach Terry Johnson summed up how many at Butler view Smith's career prospects.
He's going to be great at whatever he decides to do, whether it's play basketball or go into his business.
Smith's immediate future contains graduation on May 11th and marriage to fiancée Samantha Stage on May 18th. No matter what Smith decides to do in the future, the general consensus is that he will make Butler proud. For the Bulldog Blitz, I'm Colin Likas.
The Butler women's basketball team is looking forward to improving during the offseason and preparing for a new competition in the Big East Conference. I was at Hinkle Fieldhouse this week and found out that even though the women's season is over, their work for next season is just beginning. The Butler women's basketball team does not plan to rest anytime soon. The team fell to Toledo 63-49 in the first round of the Women's National Invitational Tournament in March, but head coach Beth Kuchar says she feels good about the team's current and incoming talent.
Well, I feel good. You know, we also want to get to the NCAA tournament. That's something we always want to do, but we have made postseason play here now for 4 out of the last 5 or 6 years. So I feel really good about them, and I even feel better about the talent that we have right now and the talent we have coming in.
The Butler women's basketball team has been to the NIT the last 4 of the 5 years. However, the team still looks to improve. Senior forward Becca Bornhorst will be the only senior leaving the team this year, which means Bornhorst will be the only team member to not experience a new rule change.
Since we're entering into the Big East this year, the coaches are actually allowed to work with the girls this summer a little bit, which is a rule change from the past. So I really think you're going to see a lot of improvement with individual skills that's going to take place over this summer.
We could have finished out the year better, but we ended on a bad note, I would say. In the new league next year, we're definitely going to need to get stronger in a bunch of different areas, and our rebounding is going to have to pick up.
Going into the Big East, we haven't really looked at those teams, but, you know, we always want to make the tournament. We want to make postseason play. Obviously, the NCAA tournament is what we want, but to be in postseason play will be crucial for us, and I think to do that, we're going to have to finish in the middle of the Big East or higher. For the Bulldog Blitz, I'm Jojo Gentry.
The Butler women's volleyball team is playing 4 games this spring semester in preparation for next season. Matt Rhinesmith has more on that story.
The Bulldogs played IUPUI last Thursday night at Hinkle Fieldhouse. They won the match 3-1. Junior Maggie Harbison says these spring games are a good opportunity to prepare for different things.
Playing different teams is good. We see different things and work on teamwork.
Senior Morgan Peterson says these games are a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to practice against someone other than themselves.
We just want to see somebody else on the court, really. We spend a lot of time with each other, playing each other. We just want to see another team on the other side, make it a little bit more fun.
Peterson and junior Erica Stahl have already had a busy offseason. Both players were selected to represent Butler at the U.S. Women's National Volleyball Team Open Tryout. Peterson says that the combination of USA Volleyball and Butler practices has made for a long spring.
The spring can kind of drag out, you know, because you're just practicing, you don't have any games. so it's just like working out in practice every day. So playing somebody else just makes it fun. Have something to look forward to for sure.
Head coach Sharon Clark, entering her 14th season leading the Butler program, also likes playing these spring contests.
The best thing for us about the spring is it's an opportunity for us to work on some things that we've been doing in practice, but give the players some actual competition to try it out.
Like many Butler sports, this past fall was the team's first and last season in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Clark says she is excited about the new challenges the Big East will bring this fall.
We've got several teams that were in the tournament this year that are all in that conference now, and that we'll be competing with. So top to bottom, we know that it's going to be stacked in our sport, and we're looking forward to it.
The Bulldogs play 4 more spring contests later this month. Their official season will start in the fall. For the Bulldog Blitz, I'm Matt Reinsmith.
Thank you for joining us for this week's Bulldog Blitz. I'm Jojo Gentry.
And I'm Ryan Henson. Have a good week, Bulldog fans.